The transport ship landed on New Haven Colony with a loud rumble that shook the ground. Alex Carter stepped out of the luxury cabin and looked around at the red dirt and metal buildings that made up humanity's newest home. The air tasted different, here, cleaner than Earth had been before the attacks. His expensive shoes clicked on the metal walkway as he made his way to the colony center. Alex owned Carter Industries, one of the biggest companies in human space. His terraforming machines had helped build this place and dozens of other colonies. At 34, he was worth more money than most people could count. Today, he was here to check on his equipment and meet with the colony leaders about expanding operations. The colony was small but growing. About 5,000 people lived here now, mostly families who had left Earth after the alien attacks 15 years ago. The buildings were simple and practical, nothing fancy. Most people here worked hard jobs mining, farming, or maintaining the life support systems that kept everyone alive. Jake Morrison, his business partner and best friend, walked beside him carrying a tablet full of meeting schedules. "The power grid is running at 90% efficiency," Jake said. "The water recycling system needs some new parts, but overall everything looks good." Alex nodded but wasn't really listening. Something felt different about this place. Maybe it was being so far from Earth, or maybe it was seeing how normal people lived without the luxury he was used to. These colonists had built something real here with their own hands. They walked through the main street where small shops and businesses lined both sides. Children played in the dirt while their parents worked. Everyone looked healthy and happy, even though life here was much harder than on Earth or the inner colonies. "Where should we eat dinner?" Jake asked, looking at his tablet. "There's only one real restaurant here called Horizon's Edge. The colony administrator says it's pretty good." Alex shrugged. "Fine with me. I'm not very hungry anyway." They finished their meetings by late afternoon. The colony leaders were pleased with how well the terraforming equipment was working. The atmosphere was getting more breathable every month, and soon they wouldn't need the dome shields over the residential areas. Horizon's Edge sat at the edge of the colony center, a simple building with large windows that looked out over the red landscape. Inside, it felt warm and welcoming. The tables were made from local wood, and soft music played from hidden speakers. About 30 people sat eating dinner and talking quietly. Alex and Jake found a table by the window. The menu was simple, but the food smelled good. Alex looked around at the other diners. Most were families or small groups of friends. Everyone seemed to know each other the way people do in small towns. "Good evening. Welcome to Horizon's Edge. Can I start you with something to drink?" Alex looked up to answer and felt his entire world stop. The woman standing beside their table had brown hair pulled back in a simple ponytail and wore the plain uniform of a restaurant server. Her face was older than he remembered, with small lines around her eyes, but there was no mistake. It was Emma Walsh. The tablet in Jake's hands clattered to the floor. Alex's mouth opened, but no words came out. His hands started shaking so badly he had to put them under the table. For a moment he thought he might be having a heart attack. Emma looked directly at him. Her green eyes showed she recognized him, too, but her expression didn't change. She stood there calmly, waiting for him to answer her question about drinks as if they were complete strangers. "Alex?" Jake whispered. "Alex, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." Emma had been the love of Alex's life. They had met in college when they were both studying physics. She was brilliant, the smartest person he had ever known. They had planned to get married after graduation, to work together exploring space and building a better future for humanity. Then came the alien attacks on Earth. Cities burned, millions died, and in the chaos Emma had disappeared. Alex had spent 3 years and millions of dollars searching for her. He hired private investigators, offered huge rewards, and personally traveled to refugee camps on dozens of worlds. Everyone told him she was dead. Eventually, even he believed it. But here she was, 15 years later, working as a waitress on a colony world thousands of light years from Earth. "Sir? Your drink order?" Emma's voice was professional and patient. She acted like she had never seen him before in her life. Alex's voice cracked. He cleared his throat and tried again. Water. Just water, please. Coffee for me, Jake managed to say, still staring at Alex with concern. Emma wrote their orders on a small pad. I'll give you a few minutes to look at the menu. She walked away without another word. Alex watched her move between the tables, taking orders and serving food. She was good at the job, friendly with the customers, but he could see the intelligence in her eyes that no simple work could hide. This was the woman who had been working on theories about faster-than-light travel when she was 22. Now, she was asking people if they wanted more bread. Who was that? Jake asked quietly. I've never seen you react like that to anyone. Alex couldn't answer. His throat felt tight and his chest hurt. Emma brought their drinks a few minutes later, still acting like a professional server with customers she had never met. Have you decided on your meals? She asked. Emma. Alex said her name so quietly he wasn't sure she heard it. Her hand tightened on her order pad for just a second. Then she looked at him with eyes that held 15 years of pain and anger. My name is Emma, yes. Have you chosen your dinner? The words hit him like a punch to the stomach. She was going to pretend they didn't know each other. After everything they had meant to each other, after all the nights he had dreamed of finding her alive, she was going to serve him dinner like any other customer. Other people in the restaurant were starting to notice. The richest man in human space was sitting at a table looking like he might cry, and everyone was beginning to stare. Alex ordered something random from the menu. Emma wrote it down and walked away. He watched her disappear into the kitchen and wondered if his heart could actually break twice for the same person. Alex barely touched his food. He sat at the table watching Emma move around the restaurant, serving other customers with professional skill. She never looked at him again, not even when she refilled his water glass. Jake tried to make conversation about business, but Alex couldn't focus on anything except the woman who had vanished from his life 15 years ago. The evening felt endless. Other diners finished their meals and left, but Alex stayed in his chair, waiting. He had to talk to Emma alone. He had to understand how she ended up here, why she never tried to contact him, and what had happened during all those years he thought she was dead. Finally, the restaurant began to close. Emma cleaned the last tables and said goodnight to the kitchen staff. She walked toward the back exit, clearly hoping to avoid Alex completely. Emma, wait. Alex stood up quickly, his chair scraping against the floor. She stopped, but didn't turn. Around. We're closed. You need to leave. Please, just 5 minutes. I need to talk to you. Emma turned around slowly. Her face looked tired and older than her 32 years. There's nothing to talk about, Alex. Go back to your hotels and your meetings. Forget you saw me here. Forget? Alex stepped closer. I spent 3 years looking for you. I hired investigators on 20 different worlds. I offered rewards that could have bought houses. How can you ask me to forget? Because that was 15 years ago. Emma's voice was cold. People change. Lives change. The woman you knew doesn't exist anymore. Jake appeared beside Alex, looking uncomfortable. Maybe I should go back to the hotel and give you two some privacy. No, Emma said firmly. There won't be any privacy. I'm going home now. She started walking toward the door again. Alex followed her outside into the cool night air. The colony was quiet, except for the hum of life support systems and the distant sound of mining equipment. 2 small moons cast pale light over the red landscape. Emma, please. I know you're angry, but I don't understand why. I looked for you everywhere. I never stopped hoping you were alive. Emma spun around to face him. For the first time, real emotion showed in her eyes. You looked for me, really? Where did you look, Alex? In the refugee camps, in the medical centers? In the places where people who lost everything went to survive? Yes. All of those places. I went to dozens of worlds, hundreds of camps. But not the right ones. Emma's voice was bitter. You looked for the Emma Walsh who had a job at the Global Space Research Consortium, the Emma Walsh who had a nice apartment and a research grant and a bright future. You didn't look for the Emma Walsh who was sleeping in shelters and working in factories just to earn enough food to stay alive. Alex felt like she had slapped him. That's not true. I would have found you anywhere. Would you? Emma laughed, but there was no humor in it. Tell me, Alex, when you were searching, did you ever check the factory worker lists, the cleaning service rosters, the lists of people who took jobs shoveling dirt for mining companies? Alex opened his mouth to answer, then closed it. He had hired investigators, yes, but they had focused on official records, professional databases, places where someone with Emma's education and background would normally be found. I lost everything in the attacks, Emma continued. My family, my job, my research, my home. The university was destroyed, the research facility was gone. All my work, all my data, 15 years of study, all of it turned to ash in one day. She started walking again, and Alex walked beside her. They were moving toward the residential section of the colony, where small apartments housed the workers and their families. I ended up on Titan Station with nothing except the clothes I was wearing, Emma said. Do you know what it's like to have 3 advanced degrees and not be able to find work because all the computer records were destroyed? No one could verify my education. No one could check my background. I was just another refugee with no proof of who I had been. Alex wanted to reach out to her, to touch her hand or shoulder, but he could feel the wall of anger and hurt between them. Why didn't you try to contact me? I would have helped you. I would have done anything. Emma stopped walking and turned to look at him. Contact you how? I had no money for long-distance communications. I didn't even know if you were alive. And later, when I did find out... She paused. What? When you found out what? I learned that Alex Carter had become one of the richest men in human space. That you were living in mansions and flying around in private ships while I was cleaning toilets to pay for a bed in a shared room. Alex felt his chest tighten. Emma, that's not fair. I built my company to help people. The terraforming technology has given millions of families new homes and made you billions of dollars in the process. Emma's voice was flat. Tell me, Alex, when you were building your fortune, did you ever think about the refugees who were still struggling to rebuild their lives? Did you ever wonder if some of us might need help more than we needed new planets to live on? They reached a small apartment building made of prefabricated metal sections. Emma pulled out a key card. This is where I live now, she said. 2 rooms, shared kitchen, communal bathroom down the hall. It's not much, but it's mine. I earned it by working. 12-hour shifts in restaurants and loading cargo at the spaceport. Alex looked at the simple building. It was clean and well-maintained, but it was nothing like the life Emma should have had. The life she would have had if the universe hadn't torn them apart. Emma, let me help you now. I can give you anything you need. A research position, your own laboratory, funding for any project you want to work on. Emma's expression hardened again. You think money can fix 15 years? You think you can buy back the time we lost? No, but I can give you a chance to the work you were meant to do. You're brilliant. You should be out there discovering new things, not serving coffee to minors. Maybe I like serving coffee. Emma put her hand on the door scanner. Maybe I've learned that simple work with honest people is better than chasing dreams that disappear when the universe decides to destroy everything you care about. The door clicked open. Emma stepped inside, then turned back to look at Alex. One more time. Go home, Alex. Go back to your empire and your money and your important meetings. Forget you saw me here. We both built new lives from the pieces of our old ones. Don't try to break mine apart again. She closed the door, leaving, Alex standing alone in the pale moonlight, understanding for the first time how much he had truly lost. Alex couldn't sleep that night. He lay in his hotel bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about Emma's words. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her face when she told him about losing everything. He had built an empire while the woman he loved was struggling just to survive. Jake found him in the hotel restaurant the next morning, drinking coffee and looking terrible. You look like hell, Jake said, sitting down across from him. Want to talk about it? Alex told him everything. About Emma, about their past together, about how she had vanished during the attacks and how he had found her working as a waitress. Jake listened without interrupting, his expression growing more serious as the story went on. "So that's why you've never gotten married," Jake said finally. "You've been in love with a ghost for 15 years. She's not a ghost, she's here, she's alive, and she hates me." Jake poured himself coffee from the pot on the table. "She doesn't hate you. She's hurt and angry, but that's not the same thing. The question is, what are you going to do about it? She told me to leave her alone, to go back to my life and forget about her. And are you going to do that?" Alex looked out the window at the colony, waking up for another day. People were walking to work, children were heading to school. Life was continuing as normal. Somewhere out there, Emma was probably getting ready for another shift at the restaurant. "I can't," Alex said. "I lost her once because of circumstances beyond my control. I'm not going to lose her again without a fight." Jake grinned. "Good, so what's the plan?" They spent the morning asking questions around the colony. People were happy to talk about Emma Walsh. Everyone liked her, they said. She was quiet but friendly, always willing to help when someone needed it. She worked hard and never complained, but there were strange things too. Mrs. Garcia from the supply office mentioned that Emma sometimes ordered unusual items, scientific equipment, specialized chemicals, computer components that seemed odd for someone working in a restaurant. "She always pays cash," Mrs. Garcia said. "And she picks up the orders herself, usually late at night. I asked her once what she needed all that equipment for, but she just said it was a hobby." Jake and Alex exchanged glances. Emma Walsh's hobbies had always involved advanced physics and space technology. They found Dr. Henry Kim at the colony's small research facility. He was a friendly man in his 50s who managed the limited scientific work the colony could afford. "Emma Walsh?" Dr. Kim nodded. "Sure, I know her. She comes by sometimes to use our computer terminals. Says she likes to read scientific journals to keep her mind active. I always thought it was a shame someone with her intelligence was stuck serving food." "Her intelligence?" Alex asked carefully. "Oh yes, she knows more about theoretical physics than most of my graduate students did back on Earth. We've had some fascinating conversations about quantum mechanics and space-time manipulation. She has some very interesting ideas about alien technology." After they left the research facility, Jake turned to Alex. "She's still doing research. All that equipment, the late-night trips, the scientific journals. Emma hasn't given up her work, she's just hiding it." "But where?" "She lives in a tiny apartment with shared facilities. There's no room for a laboratory there." They decided to follow Emma after her shift ended that evening. It felt wrong, like spying on someone, but Alex had to know what she was really doing on New Haven. Emma finished work at the restaurant around 10 o'clock. Instead of walking home to her apartment, she headed toward the industrial section of the colony. Alex and Jake followed at a distance, staying in the shadows between buildings. Emma stopped at a storage facility near the mining equipment depot. She used a keycard to enter through a side door. Lights came on inside, and through a small window, Alex could see Emma moving around in what looked like a makeshift laboratory. "She's got her own research lab," Jake whispered. "How long do you think she's been working on this?" They crept closer to the window. Inside, Emma was working at a computer terminal surrounded by equipment that looked far more advanced than anything the colony officially had. Strange metal fragments sat on examination tables connected to scanning devices and analysis equipment. Alex recognized some of the metal pieces. They looked like fragments of alien technology, similar to wreckage that had been found on dozens of worlds since the attacks 15 years ago. Emma was reverse engineering alien technology. "This is incredible," Jake breathed. "She's been doing this alone, with limited resources while working full-time at a restaurant. Alex, do you understand what this means?" Before Alex could answer, the door behind them opened. Emma stood there, her face dark with anger. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. "This is private property." Alex stepped forward. "Emma, you were spying on me." Emma's voice was cold. "You couldn't just leave me alone like I asked. You had to come poking around in my business." "Your business?" Jake pointed at the laboratory. "Emma, this isn't just your business. If you've made breakthrough discoveries about alien technology, this could change everything for humanity. Emma's expression shifted slightly. For a moment, she looked uncertain. You don't understand, she said. The work I'm doing here? It's dangerous. There are things about the aliens, about why they attacked us, that people aren't ready to know. Alex moved closer. Then tell us. Help us understand. Emma looked at both of them for a long moment. Then she sighed and stepped aside. Come in, but touch nothing, and don't tell anyone about this place. Not yet. Inside the laboratory, Alex could see that Emma had been busy for months, maybe years. Computer screens showed complex equations and 3D models of alien spacecraft. The metal fragments were connected to devices that measured energy patterns and molecular structures. The aliens who attacked Earth, Emma said, they weren't invaders. They were refugees. Jake stared at her. What? The technology fragments I've analyzed, the energy signatures, the material science, all of it points to the same conclusion. These aliens were running from something that scared them so much they were willing to attack other species just to find safe places to hide. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. Running from what? Emma pulled up a star chart on her main computer screen. It showed a section of space beyond the outer colonies marked with red indicators. I call them the Devourers. Based on the alien data I've decoded, they're something that consumes entire star systems. Not just the planets, but the stars themselves. They leave nothing but empty space behind. She pointed to the red markers on the chart. These are systems that have gone dark in the past 5 years. No communications, no energy signatures, no signs of life. It's like they were simply erased from existence. Jake's face had gone pale. How many systems? 47 that I can confirm. Probably more that we haven't detected yet. Emma turned away from the screen. The aliens who attacked us were trying to escape the Devourers. They needed our worlds, our resources, because their own homes were being destroyed. A loud alarm suddenly filled the air. Emergency lights began flashing throughout the colony. Emma ran to her communications equipment and switched on the colony's emergency channel. Commander Lisa Brooks' voice crackled through the speakers. All citizens report to emergency stations immediately. Long-range sensors have detected unidentified ships approaching the system. Estimated arrival time 48 hours. This is not a drill. Emma and Alex looked at each other. The same thought was in both their minds. The aliens were coming back, or worse, the Devourers had found them. The colony's emergency center was chaos. People ran in all directions, some heading to evacuation shelters, while others prepared defensive positions. Commander Brooks stood at the center of it all, shouting orders and trying to coordinate the colony's limited military resources. Emma grabbed her research data and equipment, stuffing everything into transport cases. Alex helped her, his hands shaking as he packed the alien technology fragments. We need to get this to the command center, Emma said. If those ships are hostile, my research might be the only thing that can help us. Jake was already on his communication device, calling his company's security team. I've got 3 armed transport ships in orbit, he told Alex. They're not military grade, but they have shields and weapons. I'm ordering them to take defensive positions. They rushed to the colony's command center, a reinforced building at the heart of New Haven. Inside, Commander Brooks was studying long-range sensor data with her small team of officers. Commander, Alex said, approaching her station, we have information that might help. Brooks looked up, her face grim. Mr. Carter, unless you can tell me how to fight alien warships with mining equipment and farming tools, I don't think there's much you can do. Emma stepped forward, carrying her case of research materials. I've been studying alien technology for 3 years. I know things about these species that could save us all. Brooks raised an eyebrow. You're the waitress from the restaurant. I'm also a physicist who's been reverse engineering alien tech fragments, Emma said. She opened her case and pulled out a data pad. The aliens who attacked Earth 15 years ago were refugees. They were running from something called the Devourers. Emma quickly explained her research while Brooks and her officers listened. The more Emma talked, the more worried everyone looked. So these approaching ships, Brooks said slowly. They could be more refugees, Or they could be the devourers themselves. There's a way to tell, Emma said. She connected her data pad to the colony's sensor array. The energy signatures are different. Refugee ships have chaotic power patterns because they're damaged and desperate. Devourer ships have a very specific signature that matches their consumption technology. The main screen flickered and displayed the sensor readings from the approaching vessels. Emma studied the data for several minutes, her face growing pale. These aren't devourers, she said finally. They're definitely refugees. 3 ships, heavily damaged, running on emergency power. Brooks looked relieved. So they're not here to attack us? Not necessarily, Emma said. Desperate people do desperate things. They might try to take our colony by force if they think it's their only chance for survival. Alex had been thinking while Emma worked. What if we try to communicate with them? If they're refugees, maybe we can help each other. Help them how? Brooks asked. We barely have enough resources for our own people. I have terraforming technology, Alex said. Equipment that can make dead worlds livable. If these aliens need a place to settle, I can give them that. Emma looked at him with surprise. You'd share your technology with aliens? If it means saving this colony and maybe learning how to fight the devourers, yes, Brooks considered this. It's risky, but it might be our only option. We certainly can't fight 3 alien warships with what we have here. They spent the next several hours preparing. Emma worked with the colony's communications team to set up translation protocols based on her research. Alex contacted his company's orbital facilities to prepare terraforming equipment for possible deployment. Jake coordinated with the transport ships to create a defensive formation that looked protective rather than aggressive. As they worked together, Alex found himself remembering why he had fallen in love with Emma in the first place. She was brilliant under pressure, able to solve complex problems while everyone else panicked. Her mind worked faster than anyone else's, making connections and finding solutions that others missed. During a brief break, Emma found Alex alone, in the supply room where he was checking equipment manifests. Why are you really doing this? She asked. Offering to help the aliens, I mean. Alex looked up from his tablet. Because it's the right thing to do, and because you taught me that science should be used to help people, not just to make money. Emma leaned against the doorframe. I was angry at you for becoming so wealthy while I was struggling, but seeing you now, seeing how you want to use your resources to help others, I think maybe I was wrong. You weren't wrong, Alex said. I did get caught up in the success and the money. I forgot about the people who needed help the most. I forgot about you. Emma stepped closer. I never forgot about you. Even when I was angry, even when I told myself I hated you, I never stopped thinking about what we could have been together. Alex reached out and touched her hand. We can still be together, Emma. After this is over, whatever happens, we can figure out how to make it work. Emma squeezed his hand. I'd like that. I've been alone for so long, I forgot what it felt like to have someone who understood me. Their moment was interrupted by an alarm. Commander Brooks' voice came over the communication system. All personnel to emergency stations. The alien ships are entering our system. Contact in 6 hours. Emma and Alex hurried back to the command center. The main screen showed 3 large alien vessels approaching New Haven. They were unlike anything in the colony's databases, with organic curves and strange energy patterns flickering across their hulls. They're not responding to our communication attempts, the communications officer reported. Either they can't understand us, or they're not interested in talking. Emma worked frantically at her translation system. I'm getting something, she said. It's faint, but I think they're trying to communicate. The signal is very weak, like their communications are damaged. After several more attempts, a voice came through the speakers. It was alien, with strange tones and rhythms, but Emma's translation system converted it to words they could understand. Human settlement, this is Refugee Fleet 7. We request sanctuary. Our ships are failing. Our people are dying. We have children aboard. Please respond. The command center went quiet. Everyone looked at Commander Brooks, waiting for her decision. Tell them we'll help, Brooks said finally. But they need to understand that we have conditions. Emma activated the translation system. Refugee Fleet 7, this is New Haven Colony. We're willing to offer assistance, but we need to establish trust. We'll send a small delegation to meet with your leaders. Are you willing to do the same? There was a long pause. Then the alien voice returned. We agree. We will send our peace speakers to your world. Please understand, we are not warriors. We are simply people who have lost everything and seek only a safe place for our children to grow. Alex felt Emma's hand slip into his. Whatever happened next, they would face it together, just like they had planned to do all those years ago in college. The aliens were coming, and everything was about to change. The alien shuttle landed in New Haven's main plaza 3 hours later. It was small and clearly damaged, with burn marks across its hull and flickering lights that suggested failing power systems. A crowd of colonists watched from behind safety barriers as the shuttle's door opened. 2 aliens stepped out, moving slowly and carefully. They looked nothing like the monster invaders people had imagined. They were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. They wore simple robes that looked worn and patched. Most importantly, they held their hands open and empty, showing they carried no weapons. Emma walked forward with Commander Brooks and Alex. Her translation device hung around her neck, ready to help with communication. Welcome to New Haven, Emma said. The device converted her words into the alien's language with soft musical tones. The taller alien spoke first. The translation came back as, I am Speaker Zenth of the Keth people. This is Speaker Mira. We thank you for allowing us to come to your world. We have not felt safe ground beneath our feet in many cycles. How many people are on your ships? Commander Brooks asked. 12,000, Zenth replied. Mostly families with young ones. We are the last survivors of our world. The Devourers came 2 cycles ago and consumed everything. Our sun, our planets, even the space around them. We barely escaped. Alex stepped forward. We want to help you, but we need your help too. We know the Devourers are coming to this part of space. If we work together, maybe we can stop them. Speaker Mira made a sound that the translator interpreted as laughter, but there was no humor in it. Stop the Devourers. Honored humans, entire civilizations have tried to stop them. Races with technology far beyond yours have failed. The Devourers have consumed thousands of star systems across the galaxy. Emma felt her heart sink, but she pressed on. What if we had a way to trap them? My research shows they need to consume matter to grow stronger. What if we could cut off their food source? Both aliens looked at her with interest. Zenth spoke. You have studied the Devourers? How is this possible? No one has ever captured their technology. Emma explained her research while the aliens listened, carefully. When she finished, Mira made excited sounds. She has discovered something important. Zenth translated for the humans. Our scientists theorized about using gravitational collapse as a weapon, but we never had the technology to create it. We do, Alex said. My terraforming equipment can manipulate gravity fields on a massive scale. If we modify it properly, we might be able to create an artificial black hole. Jake, who had been listening quietly, stepped forward. That sounds extremely dangerous. What's to stop this black hole from consuming our entire star system? The aliens can help us control it, Emma said. Their technology is different from ours, but combined together we might have a chance. Over the next 24 hours, humans and aliens worked together like never before. The Keth people shared their advanced knowledge of space-time physics, while Alex's company provided the raw power needed to make the weapon work. Emma served as the bridge between both technologies, her research helping everyone understand how to make the impossible plan succeed. The work was hard and dangerous. Several times, test equipment exploded or overloaded, but slowly, they built something that had never existed before, a weapon that could tear a hole in space itself. During a break in the work, Alex found Emma sitting alone outside the workshop looking up at the stars. Scared? He asked, sitting down beside her. Terrified, Emma admitted. If this doesn't work, everyone dies. If it works too well, everyone dies anyway. There's not much room for error. Alex took her hand. We'll make it work. We have to. Emma squeezed his fingers. Alex, if we don't survive this, I want you to know that I never stopped loving you. Even when I was angry, even when I told myself I hated you, you were always in my heart. We're going to survive, Alex said firmly. We're going to stop the Devourers, save both our peoples, and finally have the life together that we should have had 15 years ago. Emma smiled. Promise me something. If we live through this, marry me. No more waiting. No more letting the universe tear us apart. I promise, Alex said, and kissed her softly. Their moment was interrupted by alarms. Commander Brooks's voice echoed across the colony. All personnel to emergency positions. The Devourers have arrived. Everyone ran to the command center. The main screen showed something that made everyone's blood run cold. At the edge of the star system, space itself seemed to be disappearing. Stars winked out one by one as something, vast and dark, consumed them. How long do we have? Emma asked. 6 hours until they reach the inner planets, Brooks replied. 12 hours until they get to us. Alex activated his communication system. All Carter Industries ships. This is Alex Carter. Execute Emergency Protocol 7. Bring all terraforming equipment to New Haven immediately. Jake was already coordinating with the Keith ships. The aliens are moving their people to the far side of the planet. If this doesn't work, maybe some of them can escape in the confusion. Emma and Alex worked frantically to complete the weapon. It was massive, requiring the combined power of 12 terraforming ships and alien technology that could fold space, like paper. The plan was simple in theory, but almost impossible in practice. They would create an artificial black hole right in the path of the Devourers, trapping them in a gravitational prison. The weapon is ready, Emma announced, but someone has to pilot it manually into the Devourer formation. The gravitational fields will disrupt all remote control systems. Alex was already putting on a spacesuit. I'll do it. No, Emma said, grabbing his arm. We'll do it together. I designed this system. You know the terraforming technology. We need both of us to make it work. Jake tried to protest. This is suicide. You'll never get out before the black hole forms. Emma looked at Alex. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we're not letting fear stop us from saving everyone we care about. 2 hours later, they were flying directly toward the Devourers in Alex's fastest ship, the weapon systems online and ready. Behind them, the combined human and alien fleets waited for their signal. You know, Alex said as they approached the enemy, this isn't how I imagined our reunion would go. Emma laughed. What, you didn't dream about fighting cosmic monsters together? Actually, I kind of did. Remember our old plans about exploring space together? This is just a more exciting version of that. The Devourers loomed ahead of them, massive beyond imagination. They looked like living darkness, consuming everything in their path. Alex and Emma worked together perfectly, their hands moving across the controls in perfect synchronization. Initiating gravitational collapse in 10 seconds, Emma announced. All fleet units prepare for immediate retreat, Alex broadcast. 5 seconds. They looked at each other one last time. I love you, Alex said. I love you too, Emma replied. The weapon fired, space twisted and folded. A new star was born from pure gravity, and the Devourers were pulled into its embrace, trapped forever in a prison of their own making. At the last second, the Keth ships fired their dimensional gateway technology, creating a portal that swept Alex and Emma's ship to safety. 1 year later, New Haven had become the capital of the Human-Keth Alliance. Emma led the combined research efforts, while Alex funded the greatest construction project in galactic history. Together, they were building a network of gravitational weapons that would protect both species from any future threats. The night before their wedding, they stood on the same hill where Emma had first told Alex about the Devourers. Do you think we'll really be safe now? Emma asked. Alex put his arm around her. I think we proved that when humans and aliens work together, we can face anything the universe throws at us. Emma smiled. Even cosmic monsters? Especially cosmic. monsters. They had lost each other once to forces beyond their control. But love, like gravity, had a way of bringing things back together. And this time, nothing in the universe would tear them apart again.